Semen retention can become a curse to a man without a mission. Not because the practice itself is harmful, not because conserving sexual energy is wrong, but because energy, by its very nature, demands direction, and direction is something many men are lacking. One of the biggest misconceptions surrounding semen retention is the belief that retaining alone will transform your life. People hear stories about confidence, focus, discipline, and drive. They begin retaining and expect those qualities to appear automatically. But that's not what happens. Retention does not create purpose. It reveals the absence of it. A man with a mission and a man without a mission can both practice retention, yet their experiences may be completely different. The man with a mission feels his energy gathering behind a clear objective. The man without a mission feels that same energy gathering with nowhere to go. And that difference changes everything. Conserved energy magnifies direction, or the lack of it. When release is removed, something interesting happens. The mind becomes more alert. The nervous system feels more charged. There's often a greater sense of wakefulness, more awareness, more intensity, more pressure. Many men interpret this pressure as power, and it can be, but only when it is attached to something meaningful. Without a defined aim, that pressure begins looking for an outlet. It searches for a target. It seeks a destination, and when it cannot find one, it often turns inward. What could have become productive drive becomes restless energy. What could have become focus becomes obsession. What could have become purpose becomes frustration. The same force that could have helped build a business, master a craft, strengthen a relationship, deepen faith, improve health, or pursue a calling begins circulating inside the mind without direction. And energy without direction becomes turbulence. This is the phase that confuses many men. They expected peace. Instead they found agitation. They expected clarity. Instead they found mental noise. They expected confidence. Instead they found an uncomfortable awareness of everything they have been avoiding. Suddenly they are overthinking, overanalyzing, questioning themselves, becoming irritable, criticizing every mistake, feeling a strange tension they cannot explain. The retention is not necessarily causing the problem. The retention is exposing it, because silence reveals what noise was hiding, stillness reveals what distraction was covering, and retention reveals what constant release was helping you ignore. Many men were never actually tired. They were distracted. Many were never truly relaxed. They were merely escaping. Many were never genuinely content. They were temporarily numbed. Remove the escape. Remove the constant outlet. Remove the habit of seeking relief every time discomfort appears. And eventually you come face to face with a difficult question. What exactly am I living for? That question is uncomfortable, because purpose cannot be borrowed from another man. Mission cannot be copied from a YouTube video. Direction cannot be downloaded. Every man must answer it for himself. And until he does, retention can feel heavier than empowering. Imagine filling a river with more water while removing its banks. The problem is not the water. The problem is the lack of structure. The stronger the flow becomes, the more chaos it creates. The same principle applies to human energy. Energy is not enough. Intensity is not enough. Potential is not enough. A man can have enormous potential and still remain lost. He can possess tremendous discipline and still feel empty. He can retain for months and still wake up wondering why he feels dissatisfied. Because energy is only useful when it serves a destination. A bow pulled back without a target is simply tension. An engine running without a destination is simply fuel being burned. A ship with powerful sails but no course will eventually drift wherever the currents decide. The question is not whether you have energy. The question is where that energy is going. What are you building? What are you pursuing? What responsibility have you accepted? What skill are you developing? What challenge are you confronting? What future are you moving toward? These questions matter because retention amplifies what already exists. If discipline exists, retention may strengthen it. If purpose exists, retention may deepen it. If vision exists, retention may energize it. But if confusion exists, retention often magnifies confusion. If aimlessness exists, retention often magnifies aimlessness. If avoidance exists, retention often magnifies avoidance. The practice becomes a mirror, and mirrors are not always comfortable. They show us exactly where we stand. This is why some men feel empowered during retention while others feel trapped. The difference is often not the retention itself. The difference is what stands behind it. Mission, direction, Purpose, responsibility, something larger than immediate gratification, something worthy of sacrifice, something worthy of effort, something capable of absorbing the energy being generated. Because energy demands trajectory. It wants movement. It wants expression. It wants creation. It wants responsibility. Without those things, the weight of unused potential begins to feel less like power and more like burden. And perhaps that is one of the greatest lessons retention can teach a man. Not how much energy he has, but whether he has given that energy a reason to exist. So before asking how many days you've retained, ask yourself a more important question. If all your energy suddenly multiplied tomorrow, would your life have somewhere meaningful to direct it? Or would it simply magnify the confusion that already exists? The answer to that question may tell you more about your future than any streak ever will.